Bob, we're outside the district attorney's offices here in Orange County, just a couple of blocks away from the jail where both suspects are being held on $1 million bail each in connection with the death of little Aiden Leos back on May 21st. And as expected, today the DA has filed murder charges against the suspected gunman, Marcus Eriz, 24 years old. Specifically, he's been charged with murder and also discharging a gun into an occupied vehicle with felony enhancements. Now, from what I understand, that could be 30 to 40 years in prison if convicted. Now, the girlfriend, Wynne, 23 years old, who prosecutors say was driving that vehicle that day, she's been charged with a felony also, but much lesser charges, accessory after the fact, and then a misdemeanor count of having a concealed firearm in the vehicle. We're getting ready to start the news conference with DA Todd Spitzer right now.
We have a few speakers here to address the charges being filed against the suspects in the Aiden Leos case. District Attorney Todd Spitzer will kick off, and he will turn it over to Assistant Chief Don Goodbrand from the CHP, and then Supervisor Don Wagner and Supervisor Katrina Foley. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're also joined today by Chief Assistant District Attorney Sean Nelson. Sorry about the noise. So in a couple minutes, you'll be handed this complaint. And so I'm making the following announcement. Today, I am charging Marcus Anthony Eriz with a violation of Penal Code Section 187, murder with the enhancement of the penalty of discharging a firearm causing death. The punishment for this crime is life in prison. I am also charging Marcus Anthony Eriz with a violation of Penal Code Section 246, that is discharging a firearm into an occupied motor vehicle with the discharge of a firearm as an enhancement, and the punishment for that crime is life in prison. I am charging Wynne Lee with Penal Code Section 32, which is accessory after the fact, with willfully harboring, concealing, and aiding Marcus Eriz with the intent that Marcus Eriz might avoid and escape detection and avoid and escape arrest, trial, conviction, and punishment for murder. Miss Lee is also being charged with knowingly concealing a firearm in her personal vehicle, which is a misdemeanor. At today's arraignment, which will be after lunch, we will be asking for the following bail. With respect to Marcus Eriz, he is presently booked on $1 million bail. We will be asking for an increase from $1 million to $2 million bail, and we will explain the factors and the rationale for that bail increase in open court. I'm not at liberty to describe those factors because I'm now outside of a courtroom, and I need to only state those reasons in court. So I would encourage you to listen to our arguments on bail. With respect to Wynne Lee, her bail will obviously be reduced. She's presently booked on 187 murder charges. Those charges we are not pursuing because we're pursuing the accessory after the fact. And so her bail will be reduced, but we are asking that it be increased to $500,000. And we will explain on the record in open court why we are asking for that additional bail. Obviously, we're now shifting this case from the investigative stage and to arrests to the prosecution of this case in a superior court of law. And I personally want to thank Chief Goodbrand for the amazing work that the California Highway Patrol did in this case, along with its other assisting agencies. And I also want to thank the individuals and leadership of the Orange County District Attorney's Office who did everything we could to assist in the apprehension of these particular individuals. I also want to put this out here. I think it's very, very important. There's been a lot of chatter on social media, and there's been individuals at different locations where either evidence has been collected or property recovered. I want to make it unequivocally clear, at this time, we have no additional information that we believe would lead to the arrest or prosecution or conviction of individuals as other accessories or accomplices. So there are people, quite frankly, in the community that are being harassed. They might be family members, whatever. I'm asking you to leave those people alone, okay? There's no evidence that even if they had somehow had some connection in this case, they are not being looked at as criminals. And we need to leave those people alone. So anything you can do in that regard would be very, very helpful. Family members should not be harassed at all, period. And two, we do not have any evidence that leads us to believe that anybody else was involved. At this time, I'd like to ask Chief Goodbrand to make any comments. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, at this time, I would just like to say thank you to the DA's office and District Attorney Spitzer for the prosecution of this case. I want to specifically thank all my investigators. From the day that this happened, they have worked countless hours, 18-hour days, 7 days a week, and they have stayed on top of this until ultimately we were able to come up with the suspects and eventually the arrest. So their work ethic and effort that they put forward has been amazing, and I want to make sure that they're really recognized in this forum. Also, with regards to the family, again, my thoughts and prayers have been and will continue to be with the family as we move forward with this case. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So I have two county supervisors with me, Supervisor Don Wagner and Supervisor Katrina Foley. They were very, very actively engaged in their concern for this case the entire time. They showed tremendous leadership. They placed significant resources themselves in terms of their budgets, as well as their ability to solicit additional funds from the community. We didn't talk about it yesterday, but at this time, I think it's appropriate for them both to speak about their concerns about this case, their feelings about the arrests and the charges, and also the role that they believe the reward played, if any, in this particular case. Thank you. Oh, Supervisor Wagner, sorry.
Thank you, DA Spitzer. I did want to take just a moment to come here and, as District Attorney Spitzer said, thank the community. The bottom line here is that I am aware that the DA's office and the CHP has been working on this case literally around the clock. The results show with the quick arrest of the two individuals, and I have the absolute confidence in DA Spitzer and all of the men and women from him through Deputy District Attorney Sean Nelson down to the line DAs. This case will be charged appropriately. It will be prosecuted properly. The rights of the victims as well as the rights of the accused will be protected. What I want to do is just take this moment to thank so many people who came forward. This is a crime that obviously grabbed the heartstrings of the community and allowed us to come together in some effort towards healing. It allowed us to collectively say, we will pursue justice in this county no matter what you do and no matter to whom you do it. The community came together. The tips, I have been told, were voluminous and helpful. That's a testament to the people of Orange County who recognize that this sort of violence cannot be allowed to stand in our community. I've got to thank my colleague, Katrina Foley, who jumped in immediately when the issue of the reward came up. We got the reward up to $500,000. $500,000. People were willing to put their money where their mouth is. Some of those were big donors. Some of them were small donors. Every one of them was the result of the hard work of the DA's office and the CHP saying we are going to pursue this case. It was the result of the media here getting that word out. And, of course, it was the result of the people who live in Orange County stepping forward to protect their community. There are lots more crimes out there that still need to be solved. We may not be able to match all of them in terms of the amount of rewards, but if you're out there and you know something about a different case, maybe you can't help us bring justice to Aiden Leos, but you can help us bring justice to whatever case you might know something about. Contact the district attorney's office. Contact my office. Let this be the first of many opportunities we have to close cases here in Orange County so that not just Aiden Leos and his family get justice, but so many other families do. Finally, about the family, I've been in touch with the family, several representatives of the family, including the mother. I cannot tell you how impressed I've been with them being able to handle this situation with such grace and class in what I know are the most horrible circumstances imaginable for parents. I want to tell you that they have expressed their appreciation, not to me, but to this community, and I want to share that expression of gratitude from the family. Now let's take this as the opportunity to bring closure to many more families. Thank you all for what you've done. Thank you, DA Spitzer and the men and women of the District Attorney's Office. Thank you, Chief Goodbrand and the men and women of the California Highway Patrol. We've got a lot more work to do now, prosecuting this case and bringing others to justice. Thank you all for the work you've done.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Wagner. At this time, Supervisor Katrina Foley.
Thank you. I'll just echo the comments of my colleagues here, and I'll add a little different flavor. As a mom, my heart was breaking the moment that we found out about this heinous crime. All of my friends all were frantically wondering, what can we do to help? I don't think I've ever seen the community so unified over trying to solve a community crime as I have in this instance. And I think that DA Spitzer said it best yesterday when he held up the photo of little Aiden and reminded everyone, why did everyone get so involved? And it's because it could have been any of us. We all related to this. We all related to this situation of just driving our little boy to school, and suddenly he's dead, crying, "Mommy, my tummy hurts." Nobody ever wants to be in that position, and no one should ever put a family in that position. So I am so proud of our community and the rally cry that we all had, the DA's office, the CHP, my colleague, Supervisor Wagner. We just really appreciate all the media as well, because without all of you, we hundreds of tips that came in to the DA's office and to the CHP. Without all of you constantly amplifying the search, we could not have found the suspects. So we appreciate you. That's not to diminish in any way the investigators and the excellent work that they did. I make sure I correct myself there. But we appreciate all of you. We appreciate the good work of our public safety officers here in Orange County. In a civilized community, we should be able to drive our kid to school and not worry that they're going to be shot in the back. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you very much. Okay, questions. Vicki. So Miss Lee is facing a felony accessory after the fact, and then the possession of a concealed firearm in her vehicle in which she controls that vehicle. No, there's no extrinsic information other than the review of the actual evidence. And the actual evidence was reviewed by myself and professional prosecutors, and we all agreed that with respect to Miss Lee, the evidence supported a filing of her behavior after the weapon was fired, but not with respect to conduct leading to that event.